Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. When we learned that Jack Wagner would be making his return to the bold and the beautiful as Ridge's half-brother, Nick Marone, we were excited. And then we were curious, because we had to wonder if this meant we'd be getting the return of two Jacks. The other one, of course, would be Nick and Brooke's son, Jack, who was last seen leaving with his father as a toddler to live life on the sea. Little Jack hasn't been seen for years, and he hasn't been mentioned in all that time either. Neither Brooke nor Taylor seem to remember him, despite fighting over him. To add insult to injury, supervising producer Casey Kasperzik shared that no, he won't be returning with Nick, though they will reference him. But what if that doesn't slam the door shut on Jack? What if he won't be back because he's already here and going by Remy? It's an idea we've pondered before, but back then, there really wasn't much reason for a big reveal. With his mother's never mentioning him and Nick gone, why bother? Now though all the pieces are in place, imagine if Jack had grown up on a boat with Nick. A life of adventure sounds fun, but for a child without much stability, it could be devastating. And it would be even worse for him if his mother never once attempted contact. That could create some pretty big attachment issues that could come out in twisted ways, like trying stalking Electra and trying to force her to be with him in messed ways. Even better, or worse, depending on how you look at it. The twist would also make Remy Will's cousin, turning their competition over Electra into a family affair. As for Brooke, she hasn't seen Remy yet that we can recall, but would she even recognize him if she did? Even if he is Jack, the last she saw him, he was a little kid. And if she had so little to do with him that he turned that abandonment into resentment, chances are she has no clue what he looks like now. But maybe, just maybe, if the truth did come out, Brooke could be the one to get through to Remy and begin repairing the damage done to him. And if that's not the case, let's hope someday we do get to meet Jack. Preferably before he comes back, as twisted and manipulative as Remy, the waves off the Malibu coast crash in rhythmic defiance, echoing secrets buried deep in the sand and surf. Secrets the Forrester, Logan, and Marone families thought were long lost to time. But this May, The Bold and the Beautiful cracks open a storyline decades in the making, one that challenges not just paternity, but the very fabric of who belongs to whom. Nick Marone's son with Brooke, forgotten or hidden? Years ago, Brooke Logan and Nick Marone had a whirlwind affair that ended in heartbreak, scandal, and, eventually, a baby. Or so viewers were led to believe. Fans will recall the tragic storyline in which Brooke miscarried Nick's child, and the complicated love triangle involving Ridge. But what if the narrative we were shown wasn't the full truth? Sources close to the production hint at a major twist is coming involving Nick and Brooke's long-ago child. And that Nick may not return to the canvas at all because his and Brooke's son has already been secretly living in Los Angeles, unaware of his true origins. The clues have been there all along. Devoted viewers might remember the cryptic conversation between Taylor and Bridget a few months ago. The pair shared an intense moment, reminiscing about what could have been, and what we all thought was lost forever. At the time, it felt like filler, two medical professionals bonding over grief and missed opportunities. But hindsight reveals something deeper. They were discussing a child, a surviving child. Speculation is now swirling that Brooke's pregnancy all those years ago didn't end in miscarriage as originally thought, but was instead covered up in a classic soap twist involving mistaken death, medical substitution, or even adoption. What if someone, perhaps a guilt-ridden Taylor or a vengeful Stephanie, orchestrated the removal of the child to protect Ridge or to remove Brooke from the Forrester dynasty once and for all? And what if that child, now a young man, has already made his bold and beautiful debut? Enter R.J. Forrester's friend from boarding school. Ridge Jr., aka RJ, has returned from Europe with a calmer, more focused attitude and a new dedication to family. But fans have noticed he's often on the phone or texting a friend named Devon, a mysterious figure from his Swiss boarding school days who has yet to appear on screen. Until now. This week, Devon finally makes his debut, a striking, intelligent, and slightly mysterious young man who immediately charms the Forresters. But when he meets Brooke, something shifts. The usually poised Logan matriarch seems unsettled, staring too long, asking too many questions about his past. Devon, it turns out, was adopted. Raised by a wealthy art dealer in Geneva, he's always known he was different, drawn to fashion, naturally inclined toward business and charisma, and curious about his origins. He's come to Lay not just to reconnect with RJ, but because his adoptive father recently passed away and left behind a letter revealing the young man's original birth certificate. One with the names Nicholas Payne Marone and Brooke Logan. Could Devon be Brooke and Nick's son? All signs are pointing in one direction, yes. And the emotional fallout could tear the Logan and Forrester families apart. Brooke is already reeling. The idea that her son may have been alive all this time, and that she never knew him, never held him, never got to mother him, leaves her shattered. She turns to Ridge, who is equally conflicted. How could they not have known? And more pressing, who kept this from them? The answer may lie in someone no one expected. Jackie Marone. Jackie returns, and she's hiding something big. Next week, Jackie Marone storms back into Lay, head held high and past ghosts catching up to her. Rumor has it that she may have been the one who adopted Brooke and Nick's child, under a different name and with the help of a European agency willing to bury the truth. In a stunning confrontation, Jackie reveals her side of the story. Brooke was devastated, Nick was drowning in guilt, and Ridge was threatening to take everything. I made a choice. I protected that child the only way I knew how, by giving him a life away from all this madness. I never thought he'd come back. But Brooke isn't appeased. To her, it's theft, a lifetime stolen, and Nick. Sources tease he has been contacted about Devon's arrival, but he refuses to return to Los Angeles, citing guilt, shame, and fear of facing Brooke again. A DNA test, and fallout that shakes the canvas. Expect a heart-stopping Friday cliffhanger in the next 2 weeks when a DNA test confirms what many already suspect. Devon is Nick and Brooke's biological son. The reaction is nuclear. Brooke breaks down, torn between elation and sorrow. Ridge feels threatened. You have another son now, Brooke. What does that mean for us? Hope bonds with Devon, surprised at how much he reminds her of herself in her younger years. RG feels betrayed. Why didn't his best friend tell him the truth? Steffi, ever the schemer, starts questioning whether Devon's presence can be used to her advantage. Taylor grows quiet and defensive. Could she have known more than she's letting on? Devon's agenda, not just reconnection. While Devon is warm and gracious on the surface, there are hints of something deeper. He didn't just come to Lay out of curiosity. He's been searching, and he's angry. Raised in privilege, yes, but without a mother's love, without a father's protection. His adoptive family kept him at a distance, always aware he was not one of them. In a shocking moment of vulnerability, Devon confides in Hope. I've been invisible my whole life. And now I find out my mother is the most glamorous woman in America, and my father abandoned me? I don't know whether to run or burn this whole place down. Hope sees the pain beneath the bravado, but others are more suspicious. Especially when Devon begins expressing an interest in Forrester creations, and a controlling stake that Brooke technically owns. Could Devon try to take over Forrester? It's not off the table. Executive producer whispers suggest Devon will soon meet Eric Forrester, who is charmed by the young man's sophistication and innate design instincts. But Ridge and Steffi are wary. Is Devon a gifted heir? Or a ticking time bomb ready to disrupt everything? Expect boardroom battles, legacy wars, and a very public unveiling of Devon's lineage at an upcoming fashion gala. One that will make the hope for the future preview look tame in comparison. And where is Nick Marone? Though Jack Wagner, Nick, has not yet appeared on screen, sources hint the show is trying to bring him back for a limited arc, ideally culminating in a reunion or explosive showdown with Brooke and their son. But even if Nick never returns, his legacy lives on through Devon, a man searching for his place in a world he was once denied. Taylor's guilt, and a secret yet to be revealed. The final twist in this unfolding drama may be Taylor Hayes. Longtime fans recall her complicated involvement in Brooke's pregnancies and her pattern of making moral choices for others for their own good. Could Taylor have known the child lived? Did she orchestrate the handoff to protect Ridge from another heartbreak? If so, she may be sitting on a secret that could destroy what little peace exists between her and Brooke, and possibly cost her the trust of her children, especially Steffi, who has grown closer to Taylor recently. Devon's next move: confrontation or control. By the end of the month, Devon will face a choice: accept the family that now embraces him, or turn against them. Ridge's cold distance, Nick's absence, and Brooke's emotional whirlwind push him toward independence, and perhaps vengeance. But Hope's gentle guidance and RJ's friendship may serve as his tether to goodness. Still, one thing is clear: Devon's arrival changes everything. He isn't just Brooke and Nick's long-lost son. He's the future of this show, and perhaps the most dangerous Marone the Forresters have ever faced. Closing thoughts. A son returned, a legacy rewritten. With Devon's shocking paternity confirmed and his future uncertain, the bold and the beautiful heads into its most emotional territory in years. Fans hoping for Jack Wagner's return may still get their wish, but even without Nick's physical presence, his storyline is now front and center. Brooke must reckon with the child she lost and found again. Ridge must decide if he can live in a world where his wife shares a bond with another man's son. And the Forresters? They must make room for a new heir, one with Marone blood, Logan charm, and a fire all his own. And viewers? They'll be glued to every scene. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUTFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.